Welcome to the Senior Network. And I have to tell you today, have you ever met anyone that you've like read their book and you kind of feel like they're stars and they're like people that you'll never see in real life, and then they're like sitting next to you and you're like starstruck? So I appreciate you being here, Tim.
You bet.
And I appreciate you being here, and I hear just fabulous things about you. All right, Ramie, what's the name of the book?
Driving Miss Norma.
All right, you have to tell us a brief story, but I do have to say this right away. The whole premise of talking today is your experience and your love for hospice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So talk to us a little bit about how all this came about.
Yes.
Well, we started out as nomads, I would say. We pretty much checked out of regular life, and we've been traveling around the country every year. We'd spend 5 months down in Baja, Mexico, and then we'd loop around the country, and we'd always visit Ramie's aging parents and my aging parents in northern Michigan, and we did that for about 10 years until 2015. We rolled into my parents' driveway, and my dad was in very bad shape. And to make it short, he died 10 days later. And 2 days after that, my mom received a cancer diagnosis. So Ramie had
Ramie the counselor.
We weren't sure exactly what to do. We knew we were in a crisis as a family. And Norma, Tim's mother, said, I know I can't care for myself any longer. They were a well-oiled team. And so as we saw it, there were two options for her. The other thing that was important to note is that she said she did not want any treatment.
Right.
Yes, she refused treatment.
So we said there's two options. We could find a care facility for you, or you can come live with us. A lot of adult children of aging parents put those options out there, but she knew that our house had wheels.
Yes.
And
P.S. We're nomads. I heard that.
That's the caveat.
That's a caveat.
So we said, really, we have a lot of business to take care of, closing up Tim's dad's affairs, and so there's no hurry to make this decision. Think about it, and whenever you're ready, you let us know. And we were eating lunch at the time. She munched on her dill pickle and said, about a minute and a half later, I think I'd like to come along.
Oh, how amazing.
It was as simple as that. I think I'd like to come along.
And so what was the plan? There wasn't one. It was unfolding.
It was totally unfolding. We had to get a final diagnosis. My mom knew she had knew she had cancer. She was bleeding. She had a tumor above her uterus. We had to get an official diagnosis, so we went to the final doctor before we were getting into the motorhome and taking off. And the doctor, it's incredible. The whole medical situation is, as you know, it's stacked in the doctor's favors. They're the authority on things. My mom had her mind made up, but the doctor, still being a doctor, presented my mom with her diagnosis. You have uterine cancer, and this is what we're going to do. He said we're going to have a hysterectomy, followed by chemotherapy, radiation. You're going to be going to a facility for rehab.
And she said, no, thank you.
Well,
she listened to the whole thing.
She listened to the whole thing. And then you're probably going to spend the rest of your life in assisted living. You're not going to be able to be on your own. And without giving her another choice, he said, what would you like to do?
When can we schedule
When
surgery?
can we do all this? And we had already discussed this with my mom, and she already had decided to come with us. And she just sat up in that wheelchair and looked up at the doctor. And she goes, I'm 90 years old. I'm hitting the road. Just like that, as deadpan as you could be. And of course the doctor, what on earth are you talking about? He looked at us, what are you talking about? And that's when we explained what we were going to do. My mom was eschewing medical treatment. We were going to take her on a road trip anywhere she wanted to go, and she's going to die in her home like she wanted to with us.
Well, it was interesting what we were talking about before we really started, and you sort of had the blessing and you knew exactly what to do, 911 and hospice.
Well, we asked the doctor, so, we live a little non-traditionally, if you will, and so, we explained to him what our plan was, and then Tim said, are we a little bit out of bounds here? And is this a crazy
I said,
crazy
for example,
idea?
I was worried about her actually dying in the motorhome. I said, what if we're in the motorhome in a Walmart parking lot in Dubuque, Iowa? And he goes, well, you call 911. And I said, well, that makes sense. Then my only other concern was, what if Mom gets to the point where we can't take care of her? It's hard enough in a regular home to take care of your loved one, but I said, what do we do if Mom's cancer goes, we can't take care of it? He goes, Tim, wherever you are in the country, there's a hospice organization, and they'll help you. And we ended up 3,000 miles away from where my mom was, started our trip, and we're on a San Juan Island off the coast of Washington State. And of course, there was a hospice there, a nonprofit hospice
Oh, I love
that
it.
came and helped us through the last 5-6 weeks of my mom's life.
Oh, that's amazing. And on that note, we're going to have to take a break. But if you haven't read Driving Miss Norma, it's fantastic. And I think we have movies and all kinds of groovy things going on. So stay with us. We'll be right back.